So, do you like the Three Stooges? I do. I really do. If you go in the dollar store or go on YouTube, one common thread you'll often see is the same 4 Three Stooges shorts that happen to be in the public domain. The copyright lapsed, and so they've been released in many low-quality editions. But the home video world of Three Stooges, while it's saturated with that, seemingly, is much bigger and much better. So it starts with the main shorts themselves. Between 1934 and 1959, the Three Stooges made 190 short films for Columbia. And you can get them all for super cheap nowadays. All in this very compact little case. Every single one in release order with a list. Now what's interesting is that they did make a couple of short films in 3D, but only an early version of one of these DVD sets, when it was released in volumes, contained them in anaglyph 3D, transferred in a purple and green glasses viewing format. However, these 3D shorts can be viewed in their native high-quality 3D format as a bonus feature on the Blu-ray of an old Vincent Price horror movie, The Mad Magician. So if you're interested in Three Stooges, you might want to pick that Blu-ray up, not necessarily for that movie, but for those 2 extras. But of course there's more to the Three Stooges than just their main shorts. The Warner Archive, which releases manufactured on-demand DVDs and Blu-rays, for instance on DVD-Rs that are sold in limited quantities, made as they go, basically, they released part of their series of their older films. Volume 3 has the Three Stooges on it, before they were solo trio. Back when they were Ted Healy's Stooges, they made some short films together, including in Technicolor, early Technicolor, which is an interesting historical note. And those are available on this disc. And in 1949, they tried to break into TV. At the time they were with Shemp, and they made a pilot episode. That certain episode was called Jerks of All Trades. You probably heard of it because that's in the public domain as well and has been released tons of times. But this is one of the official releases of it. It's included on this Three Stooges All-Time Favorites disc, which is officially licensed. Now, what not everybody knows is that Shemp was there early on. In fact, their first feature film, without Ted Healy, co-starred Shemp in Soup to Nuts. That's available on DVD from 20th Century Fox. And then Curly came back after that for the shorts that everyone knows about. The Three Stooges also made a number of appearances as supporting characters in other movies. And these are available, some of them on DVD, such as Gold Raiders and Meet the Barons. That included Ted Healy as well. But it was after the shorts ended that they took on more prominent movie roles, when Joe was replaced by Curly Joe, a combination of 2 of the previous names. So the 3 of them made a number of successful movies. Some might not enjoy it if you can't get past the fact that the original Curly isn't in there, which I can. And actually I think Shemp is just as good. And Joe and Curly Joe have their own unique qualities. But the movies that included Curly Joe, these have been released officially, licensed from Columbia, on Blu-ray now, in high definition. And they're actually really good. Not just comedy-wise, but also story-wise. There's some very cool time travel elements in The Three Stooges Meet Hercules, and other very different takes to storytelling, such as Around the World in a Daze and The Outlaws is Coming. There's one film that was an exception, in my viewpoint, personally, The Three Stooges in Orbit. This was more of a hodgepodge movie that was made from part of an abandoned pilot and reworked into a movie, and I just found it so incoherent and, well, stupid. I mean, the Three Stooges are supposed to be stupid, but then there's stupid. And that movie was, wow, yeah, I just didn't get that one. But it's still an interesting view. But on the other end of that spectrum, they did make one higher budget epic, Snow White and the Three Stooges. This was in CinemaScope color, the only one in color, and a much higher production value, and was very enjoyable. There was also, oddly enough, a compilation film called Stop, Look, and Laugh that had clips from the old shorts edited into a feature film with wraparound scenes from Paul Winchell and his puppets, oddly enough. And that's been released on DVD as well, which is also a interesting curiosity. But if you're someone who more prefers the format, style, and pacing of the original shorts, but are interested in something you haven't seen before, you might be interested in Rare Treasures from the Columbia Vault. Now this is very interesting because this includes non-Three Stooges short films that have Shemp Howard, Joe Besser, and Joe DeRita when they went solo, or before or after their time with the Three Stooges. And you'll be surprised how similar the formatting was to the official Three Stooges short films. The title cards, the music, the basic humor and storytelling technique, you'll feel like these are Three Stooges shorts that you never happened to see before, even though they aren't. And interestingly enough, it's even essential viewing for a Three Stooges spin because some of these shorts are actually remakes, complete full-on remakes of actual Three Stooges shorts, but without the rest of the Three Stooges. Now, after their time with Curly Joe DeRita at the movies, they also had a TV show, and that has been released. Even though it's in the public domain, this is an officially licensed release, which is much better than all the others, which contains the complete series, both live-action wraparounds and the cartoon segments in between, and even includes a couple of their music albums on audio CD inside, along with interesting collectible packaging, a very high-quality product. And speaking of high-quality products, that's interesting because the Three Stooges is unique among major franchises and still being owned by the original family. So they can indulge in these kind of products, and they made another indulgence in this mini-series called Hey Mo, Hey Dad, which was a very personal biographical telling from the viewpoint of Mo's son, along with tons of never-before-seen family photos and stories and interesting tidbits. And the DVD packaging itself is crazy indulgent. You got this huge, wide, non-shelf friendly packaging, unique opening box. But what's inside the box, my goodness, you get the 3 discs of the entire series. Not too much space there. But you also get all these treasures inside. You get historic reproductions of the envelope that came with Three Stooges stamps, a complete reproduction of a script, a full-color book, this packet that comes with reproductions of comic books, original comic books that were sold back in the day, even family photos, behind-the-scenes photos, even Mo's studio ID card with his fingerprint. There's tons of stuff in here. It's crazy how much they went all out on this release. I'm not even sure if they made back much on it because they weren't charging much for it either. But yeah, this is something, if you like Three Stooges, you'll enjoy going through this. And if they were still owned by a major studio like Columbia, now Sony, no way you'd get this kind of content. No way. So then in the Three Stooges' later years, they also made another pilot episode called the Three Stooges Scrapbook. You can find that on YouTube, as well as appearances on Scooby-Doo, And they even had a television series that you can find on various video sites, the Robonic Stooges, believe it or not, where it was basically a cross between the Three Stooges and Inspector Gadget. It didn't star the original cast by this time, but it was mimicking the Three Stooges in their heyday with Moe, Larry, and the original Curly. And as for Moe, Larry, and Curly Joe DeRita's last live-action project, that would be Kooks Tour, which was a feature/pilot episode, which was lost for a time and then remastered from a fortunately found 8mm print. And that also is available on this DVD I showed earlier. Breaking news! After filming this, miraculously, the Three Stooges' final film, Kooks Tour, showed up on eBay from a private seller, and I just happened to come across it. It was the master 16mm film print, and it was in perfect condition. They knew what they had and the value of it, as in the right hands, it could be used to finally create a complete high-definition digital master, so the bidding started at about $10,000 or so. However, the listing is now gone and isn't listed as sold, so there's no confirmation of what happened to it. But if sometime in the future we see a Kooks Tour Blu-ray or HD streaming option, we'll know where it came from. Now there's been also some interesting versions of the classic shorts, such as Sony themselves released several volumes of the shorts remastered and also colorized. Now some might not like that if they have some moral objection to it, which kind of irks me because I enjoy it. The originals are always there if you want them. And there's also colorizations of public domain content, such as from Legend Films, which used to specialize in colorizing a lot of public domain content. They did the original 4 public domain shorts, as well as one of their co-starring features and even a random hodgepodge of other public domain appearances. But then they did something that was really cool, and for fans of 3D like myself, this was a rare treasure, and that would be the Three Stooges in 3D. This was manually converted to good quality 3D. And if you have a 3D Blu-ray player, TV, and projector, you can watch it that way. But it's also available for 3D streaming as I speak. If you have the Rocket 3D phone, their streaming service Rockflix 3D includes the Three Stooges in 3D available for streaming, and glasses-free 3D as well. And coincidentally, they also converted a selection of the Little Rascals. And moving into more recent years, there was the Three Stooges biographical television film, which you may have remembered seeing at some point. And this is available as a manufacturer-on-demand limited release disc, also on DVD-R. But it's also available on some streaming services. And then finally in 2012 there was the theatrical remake, The Three Stooges. I have never laughed so much in a theater, ever, before or since. This is the Blu-ray copy. Of course it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but it did moderately successful. And there was supposed to be a spin-off with the younger versions of themselves called the Three Little Stooges, but apparently that was shelved even after filming had been done. But yeah, that's sort of faded away, even though it's still announced as being in existence, or at least partially in existence. But it's sort of a mystery what exactly happened with that and how much had been made at this point of time. Maybe that'll be cleared up soon, who knows. So anyway, that's the Three Stooges collection.